Hola, welcome to the Drop Dead Sisters podcast. My name is Francesca.
And my name is Ninoshka.
And we're back. Today is our fucking fourth episode. And we
Number
just,
4.
yep, number four. And we're just so fucking happy and excited. And we want to thank all of you guys who tuned in and supported us in our previous 3 episodes. Just seeing that we're being heard all around the world is just making us want to keep working harder and harder to bring you guys more stories and most importantly awareness of the things that go on around the world.
Everywhere like Russia.
Yep, in Russia, Australia, the US, of course, in different parts of the world, and we're just so fucking excited that we see that map just getting fuller and fuller, fuller and fuller. It's so cool. So, before we jump into the episode, which you guys must already know what we're going to be talking about today, given the fact that our podcast has a title, but we just want to discuss real quick that apparent suicide of this Epstein guy. How
Apparent?
weird. How weird is that? Like, he is accused of this weird big sex trafficking with underage kids and stuff, and suddenly he's found dead in his cell for an apparent suicide. We all know that's bullshit.
Yeah, that sounds like he knew too much and he got caught. So now it's time to eliminate the enemy.
Yep, they definitely silence him, and to be honest, I don't know. Something tells me that this conspiracy that has been going around for a while is true, and that's how you can see that people with money can just fucking silence anyone, however they want, and hopefully nobody comes to our houses and kills us too for talking about it. But it's very weird how we all know that he. I don't know. I feel like
You come with that, and then I was actually gonna tell you we have to do an episode on that. And right when I was gonna say it, you say maybe we get killed, and I'm like, nope.
yeah, so we're like, nope, no episode, no ideas, Ninoshka. We'll just keep it here saying what we think that happened, which, they're saying that it was a suicide, but I don't
We all
think
know
so.
it's BS.
Yep.
Okay, so in today's episode, we will be discussing the strange case of Mitrice Richardson, a smart and beautiful young woman who had a bright future ahead of her, but unfortunately, she was left in our past. We will be discussing the time of events that led to this tragedy and also how we feel about the way the LAPD handled this case. Did they do enough? Could have they done more? Or what we think may have really happened to Mitrice Richardson.
Mitrice Lavon Richardson was born on April 30th of 1985. She was just 24 years old when this all happened back in the year of 2009. Her mom was Lettice Sutton and her dad was Michael Richardson, but she was pretty much raised by her mom and her stepdad, Larry Sutton. Mitrice was said to be smart, very kind, just like a deep person to talk to, wise, and basically the type of girl that knew what she wanted for her future.
In 2008, she graduated with a Bachelor of Arts degree in psychology from the California State University. I have issues saying university. She was involved in cheerleading, she was a pageant queen, and she was also a go-go dancer. She was also a lesbian and had a girlfriend called Tessa Moon. They had been dating around 2 years. She was also reportedly bipolar. She then moved in with her 91-year-old grandma Mildred in Wells, California. And it stated that they always went to lunch every Wednesday, but on Wednesday, September 16 of 2009, Mitrice canceled.
Yep, so that one Wednesday, it was like a tradition of her going, with her grandma to have lunch every Wednesday, but That one Wednesday of September 16th of the year of 2009, Mitrice canceled. Around 7 p.m. that evening, Mitrice entered the parking lot of Joffrey's, which is a restaurant in Malibu. That was about 40 miles away from her grandma's house, where she used to live at that time. This was like a very high-end restaurant over in Malibu. It said that Mitrice began to act strange towards the valet guy. It seems like she got inside of his car while he was parking someone else's car, and she just started rambling and just literally talking nonsense. Like, it seems like he asked her, like, what are you doing? And she just basically kept on saying things that didn't make any sense. This is something that you guys will see in this case, that Mitrice, even though she was stated to be a normal person, may be going through some bipolar disorder, but this day she was acting very, very weird. Before this, she had also told her mother that she was tired of beauty pageants, which is something that she liked to do a lot. She said that she wanted to become Miss Mother Nature. So she wanted to be Miss Mother Nature, and she said that she would contact Michelle Obama to make that happen. So, yeah, she also said that she wanted to avenge the death of Michael Jackson. And she also, it's reported that she spread a lot of her go-go dancer business cards around one of her relatives' house. So she had like business cards of the go-go dancer that she used to do. And she apparently went to a relative's house and they found like cards of her just hitting all around the house,
I think it was her aunt.
I think so, but it's weird. No matter if she did it in her house or in someone else's house, that is very, very bizarre behavior. It's also stated that she was also like making a lot of social media posts around that time. I'm not sure if they were all weird posts, but she was just posting a lot. And, after she was just acting very weird towards the valet guy at the Joffrey's restaurant in Malibu, she was escorted inside by him. Basically, when she went into the restaurant, she decided to sit with a group of people that was sitting, just dining in the restaurant, and she just began to randomly socialize. Like sometimes when you go to a restaurant, maybe high end, not the regular restaurants that we go to because, we can't afford high end restaurants. You know what I mean? But basically, it said that she just sat on the table and she was just talking to a group of people, and they very nicely just allowed her to sit in the table with them. But it's reported that she also began to say a lot of, random nonsense to these people. She spoke normally, but suddenly she said things that didn't make any sense. And basically, while she was just chilling with this group of unknown people, she just ordered herself, a cocktail and also a $60 steak, which, of course, it's a high-end restaurant. Steaks are going to cost $60 and over. So when they were all done dining, the group of people stood up and left. Of course, they were done. And when Mitrice was about to walk out of the restaurant because she was done too, she was stopped by the restaurant manager because she hadn't paid her bill. So Mitrice said that she thought that her friends, which were the unknown people she just dined with, that they would pay for her food. But she was informed by the manager, sorry, ma'am, no, but, you have to pay for what you order, basically.
And the weird thing about all this is that Mitrice didn't have either her phone or her wallet with her in the restaurant.
Nope.
The restaurant's manager asked Mitrice for the phone number of a contact that they could call so that they could pay the bill for her, so they could let her go from the restaurant, obviously. Yeah. Mitrice, for some reason, didn't give her mom's number, but she did provide with her 91-year-old grandma's number, in which, of course, her very elderly grandma would have not even been able to drive off to the restaurant to pay the bill. It was almost 10 p.m. at this time. Since she just kept on saying nonsense, acting in a strange manner, and wouldn't pay her bill, the restaurant manager decided to call the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. There is a 911 recording online for this if you guys want to go online and check it out to see a little more of what we're trying to tell you.
Yep.
When the police arrived, they administered a sobriety test and determined that she was not intoxicated or under the influence of any substance. When they briefly searched her car, they found less than an ounce of marijuana, less than an ounce, which is definitely for personal use, not just like she was like a drug dealer or anything. Due to this, she was arrested on charges of suspicion of not paying for the meal and possession of less than an ounce of marijuana.
Yeah, she was arrested and she literally had less than an ounce of marijuana in her car. So she was then taken to a police station. It was approximately 15 miles away from Joffrey's, the restaurant that Mitrice was in. Since the great grandma was worried after the restaurant's call, she decided to call Mitrice's mom to let her know of what happened. You know, that the restaurant called saying that Mitrice probably, they mentioned that she was acting strange, that she didn't want to pay for her bill. So then Mitrice's mom decided to call the restaurant, of course. And when she calls, the manager, I believe, advised her that Mitrice had been arrested and told her which police station Mitrice was taken to. So at that time, Mitrice's mom then calls the police, and basically they sound like fucking lazy cops. Like when I heard the call, whichever officer she spoke to sounded so lazy. Like he was just trying to get away, from the call, like as quick as he could. So basically, he advised Matrice's mom that Matrice was actually at that police station. So again, there is a recording of that. You guys will know what I mean by a lazy cop because he actually sounded like that.
I feel like he just took it like she was another one of this, addicts or something that they pick up from that she was like on something, and he wasn't paying as much attention. Pay her bill.
Yeah, but that's when Matrice's mom explains to him that this is very out of character for Mitrice to be doing. That she was, like a very educated girl, and that she didn't know, the mom didn't know why Mitrice would be acting this way. She also told the officer that answered the call that she was talking to that Mitrice was not familiar with the Malibu area because she was not from there. She was nearly 40 miles away from where she lived. And Mitrice's mom specifically asked the cops, you guys can hear the call for yourselves on YouTube. Basically, she asked the police, please do not release her that night. Please make sure that, you wait until the next morning to release her because she's not familiar with the area.
Do you think that is something that she can request it and they will keep her there even though if she's an adult? Because her mom said?
I don't think so. The thing is that I'm not really sure if Matrice's mom ever really told the police that Mitrice had like bipolar problems. When you hear the call, the only thing you hear is that it's out of character. But to end, once again, the police administered a sobriety test and she had nothing on her. They only found the weed in the car, but she was acting normal. And because she didn't have a criminal record or anything, they just let her go. Decided to release her.
Yeah. Well, Matrice's mom lived about 60 miles away from the police station. It was very late at night, and she also had a 10-year-old daughter, Matrice's little sister, in the house. So, of course, it won't be easy for a parent to drive all those 60 miles with a 10-year-old in the house. Definitely, it's not going to be conducive for her. But to be honest, if one of my kids was arrested like this out of the blues, which who knows, and it's very out of character, I would have definitely driven out there, to be honest with you. I would have driven, but...
Yeah, I would have driven too. But like we always say, we will never know how we would act to or react to a situation unless we go through it. So, we cannot speak that, she could have went. If she went that night, Matrice's mom went that night, nothing would have happened. But I don't want to say that because... we have kids of our own, and if we have one of our babies, let's say the next day they have school, they have something important in school, we are going to want to make sure that our, the kid that we have in the house is well rested and all of that, not because, another of our kids got arrested, but you never know. We can't say that she didn't go and that was irresponsible. We cannot say that.
No, and probably, she was at the care of the police. She didn't think that nothing was going to happen, At
Yeah.
5 in the morning, it said that Matrice's mom called the police station again to check up on Matrice when she was told that Matrice had been released earlier that morning at 12:30 in the morning after they said that they will keep her there.
Girl, yes, like she was released shortly after the call happened. Like she was released after the mom specifically requested that they please do not release her overnight. She's not familiar with the area. She was taken to the police station because the restaurant had reported that she was acting weird. Pero qué cojones, and then they just released her like that in the middle of the night?
That's
Without a car, without
But
what?
that's my question. In my opinion, like she's an adult, and since the police said that they released her because she was sober, and she did had no criminal history, like
But
you mentioned.
still, she
So
was acting weird, and to be honest, like a young, beautiful girl like she was, being released in the middle of nowhere. Because if you look up that police station that she was in Malibu, that's like not the beach and shit. Like that's literally like Calabasas style, like a lot of land and shit. It was a lot of bushes
you've
around,
been in
no trees.
Calabasas.
No, but we follow a
I'm
lot of
sorry.
celebrities that live there. Puñeta, we're just seeing how they live their happy lives in
I had
Calabasas,
to bring it
and
up because it's funny.
we're living in Calabasas. Like Cinderella is different. Just a pumpkin.
Okay,
Continue,
back.
Noshka.
Well, after they released her, they didn't offer her a ride, and I'm talking about the police, obviously.
They
They
didn't.
didn't
The
offer
police
her a
did
ride.
not offer her a ride.
No, but they did tell her that she could call someone. But Matrice only said that she was going to meet up with some friends and didn't call anyone. So if she
Yep.
was sober, in their opinion, they would let her go, not calling anyone. I feel like they thought that she had everything figured out.
Yeah.
Again, Matrice did not have a phone, and it was 12:20 in the morning in Malibu, which she apparently was not familiar with, like
Yeah,
you
she
said.
wasn't.
Um,
It was 12:20 in the morning. That's like literally overnight. She didn't have a phone, and the police didn't even offer a ride. Just set a call, and then I don't know. I just think that that's all too weird. She had no car. What is she gonna do? Walk in the woods? Like I don't know. I really don't know what the protocol is on police stations. I cannot speak for that because I really don't know. But that's weird to
yeah,
me.
she only had her car keys, but not the car, not the wallet or money. She just had the car keys and the ID.
Yeah, just that. It's weird. And basically, a few hours later, Mitrice's mom calls the police department to ask when would be the earliest that she could file for a missing report because, hello, she knows that. Her daughter's basically missing. She knows her daughter wouldn't do something like this. I'm sorry, but if you have a 24-year-old daughter, I feel like you will know how she will act if you are as close as they were, And basically, she was told by the officer from that Malibu station that she would have to wait at least 24 hours. And we know that this is very common in most adult cases. You need to wait at least 24 hours before you file a missing persons report because somebody is adult. They can, let's say they're stressed out, they just want to have a day by themselves. They don't tell anybody, you never know. But Matrice's situation was very strange. It was different. And due to this, you guys will see how important it would have been if the police would have actually listened to Matrice's mom and they would have actually activated a missing persons report at that time. Because maybe there would have been search parties already searching for Matrice immediately, which is not what happened. And her mom also told the police once again that this was out of characters from her daughter to do. And they still told her that she needed to wait at least 24 hours.
Yeah, it's like they should have listened. I feel like a mom's intuition, it's a big thing that people need to start considering and
Yes,
listening to. You know what I mean?
we have it. We
It's not
have
a
it,
joke.
girl.
It's
We
not a
have
joke.
it.
That is completely true. Well, that same morning, shortly after Matrice's mom had called the police station and she found out that Matrice had been released, a retired reporter, Bill Smith, who lived along the hills about 6 to 8 miles from the police station, called police dispatch to report sightings of a woman with the same descriptions to Matrice and asked the cops to drive around and check on that. He,
Yeah, that's weird because that
yes,
was 6 to 8 miles, which when you think walking, 6 to 8 miles driving is,
like,
probably like 12 to 15
yeah, like
minutes
15 minutes.
driving. Imagine walking, like Madrid was, like just right on foot.
Yeah, that's
It's pretty
more than
far.
an hour, in my opinion, like an hour or so.
Yeah, that's weird.
Well, he told the dispatcher that he asked the woman if she was okay, and she said she was just resting. And when he turned around and came back, she was gone. That was what he stated about the moment, the encounter that he had. Some neighbors in the area also reported seeing Mitrice around, but when the police searched, they never found any trace of Mitrice at all.
Yep, like it was not only that one rancher that called, it was neighbors who actually stated that they also saw a woman that actually matched Matrice's description walking around that area. And that was very weird because most of those fields were actually private, owned by people. And they were traces, like that people could walk, like I believe bike paths or something like that. But again, that was 6 to 8 miles away from the police station. She was released at that time. Yeah, it probably would have taken her all that time. That was like the next morning. But it's a little weird, her being by herself around that area. But anyway, after those sightings that police found nothing, the police report for Mitrice was finally filed. Police searches were conducted around the area where the rancher and neighbors had seen Mitrice, and the police search dogs were actually able to capture Mitrice's scent around the area. So it was definitely her who they saw. So, it's not like all the time police dogs are always right, but to be honest, it's like a 95% in my opinion. Like they know what they're doing. And that was again a very deserted area with big ranch looking field, like Calabasa styles. So it was weird for her to have walked all those miles from the police station at the time she was released. Just very, very weird. So after that search took place, the police then searched her car, girl. Now is when they went and searched her car, like a thorough search in her car, where they found journals that were filled with random stuff that she had written, like days before she went missing. She was just writing weird stuff. That's how the police say it. Like it was just like bizarre. And her wallet was also there, and her cell phone was there. When they performed the search, that they of course are going to check your life, which is in your cell phone. They basically didn't find anything, just a lot of like the Facebook posts that we talked about earlier, which is very weird. And also the police said that they had no footage at the police station of the night that Mitrice was released. So I'm guessing that every police station should have fucking cameras, because you need to know you're dealing with criminals. Weird shit is going on in fucking local jails or whatever you want to call those mini police stations, and you're not going to have a camera. So they always had footage, but that one night they did not have a footage.
They don't have a footage in a police station?
Yeah. They said that they did not have footage, and basically the investigators were wanting to know if there was footage to at least have an idea of maybe which path Mitrice might have taken that night that she was released.
How she looked, everything.
But the LAPD stated they had no footage.
That is weird and ridiculous for a police station to say that. Well, at this point, Mitrice's parents were super mad at the LAPD, obviously, because of the way they handled this case and how they released Mitrice in the middle of the night and everything after that, like everything.
That's fucked up.
They basically considered that they were negligent of the whole situation, and of course, they were going to be mad. The case indeed seemed to not have been properly handled at all,
Of course not. You hear the 911 call. The mom is clearly a concerned parent, well-spoken, asking nicely, please do not release her. She's not familiar with the area. She was still released shortly after, which is like, if you are an efficient cop or secretary or whatever the fuck you do in a police station, you should be trained for that. You should know what you're doing. You're dealing with very delicate situations.
Then in January of 2010, Mitrice's family found out that the LAPD actually had footage of the night that Mitrice was released. This is very, very sketchy. I love
this
that
sketchy
word.
as fuck. That's your favorite word?
Sketchy.
I'll add as fuck to the side. Sketchy as fuck.
It's really weird because,
they had no footage?
First, no footage. Now, they do have footage. So, it's one on another.
Isn't that weird?
This is ridiculous. How can
this
a police station do this? It's just
weird. It's
weird.
like that Epstein's case. It's weird. It's
Anyways,
weird.
nothing came of the footage, nothing that could help with the case now that months have passed by, Obviously, now there's nothing they can do because she's already gone.
It's too late. It's been a few months. She's been missing.
Yeah. Maybe if they would not have lied and provided with the footage sooner, maybe it would have actually been helpful or something could have
Of
been done,
course. Of course.
It's also said that there was an officer who seemed to be acting strange after Matrice's disappearance, but nothing never came out of that accusation either.
No, never. So it was supposedly he, like the schedule he had, like maybe he had like some time off that he could have done something around the time that Matrice was released and then reported missing. But once again, there was nothing that could be proven. But to be honest, the police in the LAPD at that time had already too much sketchiness with releasing her at that time. She was a young, beautiful woman, 24-year-old, beautiful, beautiful girl. And who knows what happened to her? Who knows if she actually lost her mind and maybe they lured her to who knows what? Isn't that weird?
Yeah, maybe that's a good thought. Maybe they already
You never
someone
know.
noticed that she wasn't in her right state of mind and they just se aprovecharon.
Yeah. That's one of the theories, yeah, that they probably saw her, that they could do whatever they wanted, and who knows? She wasn't acting right, that's it. So after that, it had been already 4 months since Mitrice was missing, and search parties just, gathered together again to went and perform, like a search for her, but unfortunately, no sign of Mitrice anywhere. They couldn't find any trace or nothing. 3 weeks after this search, Matrice's dad was in Las Vegas and he stated that he saw Matrice. He said that she appeared to be working like in the streets, like as a prostitute, and that he stopped the car that he was in to and ran to try to talk to her, but at the time that he was able to walk to her, she was already gone, like she vanished. And a few months went by without any trace of Matrice. And a former high school friend that went to school with Matrice, he was in Las Vegas and he stated that he also saw Matrice, but that when he went to approach her, just like the dad, she was just gone. So 1 month after he reported this to the LAPD, 1 month after, okay, they went to Vegas to conduct a search, and they showed pictures, a picture of Matrice, and over 70 different people stated that they had actually seen Matrice. Like they stated, yes, I saw this girl. However, one of those days that the police were performing the search in Las Vegas, they actually found the actual girl that everybody had been describing all this time, and she actually had similar features to Matrice, but it was not her. It was never her, girl. Never.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, maybe, I was going to go a little bit in the paranormal side because I was going to say, not only the father, but other people saw her
And then she vanished.
and then she vanishes, it's weird. Well,
Yep.
now, on Sunday, August 9th of 2010, around 1 p.m., Malibu State Rangers were doing hiking to check on a apparent wheat-growing farm around that area, where they
They
found
were
what
growing the
seemed to be
weed.
the remains of a human skull and clothes nearby. So, looking for one thing, they found another. Matrice's mom did a press conference when she found out about the remains that were found. She didn't find out of this because of the police told her. Instead, a journalist who had been following the case actually informed her. So again, not the LAPD. Somebody else, an outsider, was the one who informed the family, the mother
Yeah,
in
it
this
was
case.
a journalist. Like they, police, everybody knows, they found, that the remainings of the skull and then clothed around it. And then, of course, maybe it's protocol. They cannot just call Matrice's mom because they don't know if it's her yet. But Matrice, it's like you said earlier, a mom's intuition.
Exactly.
And to be honest, she did that press conference immediately because a journalist went and just told her, just hey, they found this, it may be Matrice because it was around the same area. What a coincidence,
That she's been disappeared and now they found a skull in around the
around that
area where
area.
she was last seen. Well, in
Yeah.
the press conference, Matrice's mom practically begged the LAPD
She did.
to at least let her see the clothing they had found because she would indeed know if it belonged to Mitrice. On Thursday, August 12th, the remains were identified as, unfortunately, being Mitrice's remains.
No.
Yes.
That was like, Like 3 or 4 days after, yeah, she was identified actually. Like, do you imagine that mom all those days ever since they found those remains, just with this agony of knowing, is this my daughter, or
That's
not? Like, oh my God.
it's never what a mother wants to hear, definitely.
No.
Well, in the autopsy, it was determined that she had been there in the woods for over 6 months, probably the entire time that she had been missing.
Yeah.
Matrice's mom said that she always felt like her daughter was gone, like her light had stopped shining.
Oh my God.
Again, a mother's intuition is so strong, like we had
It's so
mentioned.
strong.
There were no obvious bullet wounds, no evidence of knife stabs or blunt force trauma. So
Nothing.
there was nothing. Like she just died.
I wonder what happened to
A
her.
normal death,
I really do. Acting bizarre, those journals. Like, I would like to, of course, that's private, but I'm like, I wonder what she would write. Like, because I've heard of so many cases where people lose it like this, like that Bryce Lapisa or that Mara Mori. They start acting a little bit bizarre, and then sometimes they are never found, or other cases like Mitrice, she's found dead, but nobody
But
knows what happened to
she
her.
had a bipolar disorder. But can this get you that bad that you lose your mind from one day to another? You know?
That's the thing, you never know. The human mind, girl, that's why I always tell you I'm so intrigued, because it's the weirdest shit. Like, it's the weirdest thing. Like we mentioned in the previous episode, like, even if you like lose a family member or something, it's a big impact in your life, you may lose your shit.
Yeah, that
It's
was
not
all
even a
about to
joke.
say. Yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
it can change from day to another. That can definitely
Yeah.
happen.
So, unfortunately, till this day, this case still remains open and unsolved, and nobody knows what really happened to Mitrice Richardson. Her parents sued the LAPD department. Good, they deserved it. They did a horrible, shitty job, and they were sketchy as fuck. So basically, they sued them for negligence in this case, and they actually won $900,000, which they split equally. And nobody knows again if she was murdered, maybe she lost her mind and just fell right to her death, or if something much more sinister happened to her. Maybe this was a bipolar disorder breakdown, who knows. But our hearts go to Matrice's family, friends, and to the bright future she could have had but never got the chance to see.
We really wish that things didn't happen like this. You know, that this wasn't the like how it ended, but because it hurts, it just hurts seeing a family suffering for the loss of a loved one. You know, no
Oh,
matter if
yes.
they're missing or deceased, it affects and it can fuck someone's life up completely.
Yeah.
We hope that we are all able to heal, especially they're all able to heal, sorry, especially Matrice's mom, who did everything she could.
Well, yeah, all of us. This hurts me. I need to heal too. I think of this girl. I'm like, what happened to her? I think of it too.
There's just unanswered, so many unanswered questions just makes it harder to heal, in my opinion, you know?
Yeah.
Her mom fought and is still fighting to solve what happened to her beloved daughter, you know? So we just hope
Yeah,
that
especially her.
after all these years, you know, she had found a little bit of
She
peace in
always
her.
fought. She always felt that something was going on. Like she said, she didn't feel that her light was shining any longer, and she always knew. I know she always knew. That's why she pushed the police, gave the press conference she had to give until they found her daughter. Unfortunately, not in the circumstances that she wanted, but she got some closure in a way, because she found her daughter remains. However, who has closure like this, not knowing what the fuck happened to your daughter and seeing how dirty the police
Exactly.
dealt with this case?
The first thing you do whenever you have an issue or your family has a problem or for whatever reason, you go to the police and you think that they're going to handle it correctly and you put your problems in their hands, you know? And then I feel like that's why she was so calm. Then she waited for the next day, you know, she's in good hands. And then to find out that they did everything the opposite way,
Yeah.
it's just
She tried.
ridiculous.
She tried. She trusted. She tried. And we're not saying that every police department is the same way. We're not saying that that particular LAPD police department is the same way. But at least this case was not handled the way it should have. If it would have been handled better, this would have been avoided. And Matrice's beautiful life, will still be part of this world.
A mother's
so,
intuition. Listen to mothers, people, please.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was basically, the weird case of Mitrice Richardson. And, just to cool off a little bit after this sad story, we want to thank you all for joining us in today's podcast. We really, really hope to see you guys again next week. We may again release every Monday, but we are not really sure because we have so much shit to talk about that we may upload like twice a week or something. Who knows?
We're just so excited, and we just go depending on how we feel that day, depending on you, actually.
Yep, and make sure that you guys also visit our website, which is dropdeadsisters.com.
And follow us in social media at Instagram at Drop Dead Sister Podcast, and in Twitter at Drop Dead Sisters.
Okay, see you next time, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.